Well, welcome everybody. It is so glad to have you on another episode of Intentional Living. I am your host, Kwame Gilbert. So glad that you can join me. We're going to be talking about something today that will affect every single area of your lives, and that is your habits. The truth is, most people do not drift into healthy living, spiritual growth, emotional strength, or purposeful living accidentally. Those things are built intentionally, little by little, day by day. Sometimes we think our lives are shaped only by the really big moments, but that is not true. Like our major decisions like career changes, relationships, opportunities, crisis, and such like. But honestly, life is usually shaped by the small things we repeat every day. The habits no one sees, the choices we make quietly, the routine we build, the thoughts we entertain, the way we care for ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Over these next 5 episodes, we're going to have real conversations about healthy lifestyle choices, spiritual growth, emotional wellness, purpose, balance, and building habits that create meaningful living. This series is not about perfection, it is about direction. It's about becoming more intentional with the life that God has given us. So, wherever you are today, whether you feel motivated, exhausted, stuck, hopeful, or somewhere in between, I want you to know this. Small intentional changes can create powerful transformation over time. So, let's begin. This episode is entitled The Power of Daily Choices Small Habits, Big Direction. Today, we begin with a simple but life-changing truth. Your life is not shaped only by major decisions. It is shaped by daily habits. Most of us can remember a few major moments that change our lives. Maybe your graduation, getting married, starting a new job, moving somewhere new, beginning a new ministry, or becoming a new parent. But in between those milestones, life is really being shaped by everyday choices. What we repeatedly do becomes who we are becoming. Every single day, we are forming habits that are either helping us grow or slowly pulling us away from the life we truly desire. We are shaped by what we eat, how we think, what we watch, what we listen to, who we spend time with, how we manage stress, how we spend our time, and whether we are feeding our spiritual lives. Intentional living does not happen automatically. Nobody accidentally becomes disciplined. Nobody accidentally becomes spiritually mature. Nobody accidentally develops peace, wisdom, or emotional health. Those things are cultivated through repeated intentional choices. One of the biggest frustrations people experience is wanting change without changing habits. We want better health, more peace, deeper spirituality, stronger relationships, more focus, and greater purpose. But often, we continue repeating the same unhealthy patterns. And there's a saying that says, only a fool does the same things over and over again and expects different results. The reality is this, my friend. Habits create direction. A few unhealthy decisions, repeated daily, can slowly drain your life. Not all destruction happens dramatically. Sometimes it happens quietly, little by little. Energy decreases, peace disappears, discipline weakens, motivation fades, confidence drops, and spiritual sensitivity becomes dull. But the opposite is also true. Healthy habits build strength over time. A simple, consistent routine can slowly build focus, clarity, emotional stability, physical strength, spiritual maturity, confidence, and peace. Now, what is encouraging is this. You do not need to change your entire life in 1 week. Transformation usually happens progressively. So start small. Maybe your intentional habit is drinking more water, going to bed earlier, reducing unnecessary screen time, or waking up 15 minutes earlier so you can pray, or taking daily walks, reading a few pages each day, or practicing gratitude instead of constantly complaining. Small habits may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they shape your direction, and direction eventually determines destination. So here is a personal reflection. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself is this: what kind of person am I becoming through my current habits? Not what we hope to become, not what we talk about becoming, but what our daily patterns are actually producing. There is something I say to my sons from time to time. Failure and success are not events, they are patterns. We develop certain patterns that can lead to failure or contribute to our success. Because intentions alone do not shape life, repeated actions do. Here's a spiritual insight. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation begins internally before it appears externally. Healthy living starts with healthy thinking. The way we think influences our decisions, our emotions, our priorities, discipline, and our habits. If we constantly fill our minds with negativity, distraction, fear, comparison, and unhealthy influences, eventually those things begin taking shape in our lives. But when we intentionally renew our minds through scripture, prayer, wisdom, truth, gratitude, and healthy perspectives, our lives begin changing from the inside out. Here's your challenge for this week. Identify one unhealthy habit, not 10, just one. Replace that one unhealthy habit with one intentional healthy habit. Then focus on consistency. Not perfection, consistency. Some people quit because they miss one day and they feel they have failed. But growth is a process. Progress matters more than perfection. So as we close today, remember this: your future is being built by what you repeatedly do today. Small habits create big direction, and intentional living begins with intentional choices. Thank you for joining me for episode 1 of Intentional Living Habits. Looking forward to seeing you in episode 2. Until next time, choose wisely, live purposefully, and live intentionally.